Questions play very important role for conducting the research. Most of the students find difficult how to structure quantitative research question. In this lecture, I will explain in detail what are quantitative research question, type of quantitative research question like descriptive research question, comparative research question, relationship research question. I will also explain with many examples of all these type of research question. So, first off, it's a question. What are quantitative research question? A research question help us define what we hope to learn when we are conducting a study. In conducting a study, they are sport was and they work like a compass which tells us the direction. Quantitative research question is usually followed by a hypothesis that is a prediction of what we think our study and what we will find in our conclusion. In quantitative research, we usually work with at least two variables. It is important of these variables. One is independent variable. We are often drawing our conclusion by manipulating the independent variable and observing the effect on the dependent variable. So, actually, in quantitative research, we find the manipulation in independent and dependent variable. So, variables are very important in the quantitative research. How to structure quantitative research question? Now I discuss with you the four main points. First, choosing the type of quantitative research you are trying to create. So you are familiar. We have three types of quantitative research: descriptive, comparative, and relationship. So, in second point, we identify the different type of variable you are trying to measure. I mean, independent variable, dependent variables, and other type of variable. After that, you will select the appropriate structure for choosing the type of quantitative research question based on the variable and the group that has been involved in your research. Writing out the problem or issue of research you are trying to address in the form of complete research question. So, complete research question has many parts. I will discuss in detail all these parts in this presentation. So, first type of quantitative research, descriptive. One may ask, what are descriptive research questions? Descriptive research questions seek to describe the concept or topic in question. An example of this type would be understand the use of a product like the frequency, time of day, purpose of use, and many other. So second type is comparative research questions which are used to analyze the difference between two groups. So word different is very important, and in most of in the comparative research question we use the word different and compare. In the group, we also use the concept and variable. Example of comparative research question are including comparing the frequency of used two product, men versus women preference for brand. So these type are quantitative research question. Relationship question are in some case causal based. These questions work to understand how one variable influence another, like how color influence the desire to purchase a particular product. No, what descriptive research question? The descriptive research question mostly start with the particular uh, phrases like how much, how regularly, what percentage, what time, what is. Descriptive research question will be used to identify a single variable, but there is nothing stop you are covering multiple variable within a single question. Comparative research questions are designed to help identify clear difference between two or more groups based upon on one or more variable. A typical comparative research question will be begin by asking response for difference between a particular variable. For example, mobile app bought between two or more group. Other example is teenage boy and teenage girl. So here you can find the difference and you will apply the different type of the test like one sample t-test, independent t-test, dependent t-test, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, CANOVA, and multiple. These all type of test has been built in various type of software. One of them is SPSS, that is abbreviation of statistical package for social scientists. So in compare, if we go on the analyze in the SPSS, we can find all these tests in the below when we click on the compare. Next, relationship-based research question. A relationship-based research question can be misleading to some as it doesn't mean you got ask a respondent about their love life. So mostly the word relation is used, the relation between males and female. So here we do not use the word relationship between male and so in fact, the term relationship is used more to describe an associations or trend between two or more variable within one or more demographic informations. So mostly the tests that we apply, they are also available in the SPSS. If we click on the analyze, then we find the relationship. Then we can find the partial. There's a correlation. That's and there is a partial correlation. Here we click and we find we can apply this test. Next is structure of descriptive research question. So there are 6 steps for structuring a descriptive research question. First, choose your starting phrase. Identify and name the dependent variable. Identify the group you are interested in. Decide whether the dependent variable or group should be included first, last in two parts. Include any other word that provide greater context to your question and then you will able to write the descriptive research question. Now I will tell you in detail how to go through from these 6 steps of structure of descriptive research question. First of all, choose your starting phrase. The most starting phrases that are used in the descriptive research questions are how many, how often, how frequently, how much, what percentage, what proportion, to what extent, what is, and what are. In these example, these phrases has been highlighted with the light blue color. For example, how many calories do American men and women consume per day? How often do British university students use Facebook each week? What are the most important factors that influence the career choice of Australian university student? What proportion of British male and female university students use the top five social network? And what percentage of American men and women exceed their daily caloric highlights? So the phrases like how many, how often, what are, what proportion, and what percent are used when we start to construct the descriptive research question. Next, you have to identify and name of the dependent variable. Here, how many calories do American men and women consume per day? What percentage of American men and women exceed their daily caloric allowance? How often do British university students use face book each week? What are the most important factor that influence the career choice of Australian university student? What proportion of British male and female university students use the top five social network? Here, the daily consume per day, daily caloric allowance, use of each Facebook factor that influence the career choice, and use the top five social network are the dependent variable, and these dependent variable has been highlighted in these examples. Next, identify the group. After identify the variable, we have also identify the group. How many calories do American men and women consume per day? Here, American women and men is a group. How often do British university students use Facebook each week? British university student is a group. What are the most important factors that influence the career choice of Australian student? Australian student is the group. What proportion of British male and female university students use the top five social network? uh, British male and female student is the group, and what percentage of American men and women exceed their daily caloric allowance? Here, American men and women are group. So, in this way, you can all identify the group in your research questions. Next, decide whether the independent variable or group should be included first, last, or in two parts. I would I would like to share a few examples. Group first, dependent variable second. Oh, how often do British university students use Facebook each week? So British university student is a first group and use Facebook each week is a variable. Similarly, dependent variable first, group second. What are the most important factors that influence the career choice of Australian university? Here, factor that influence the career is dependent variable, and Australian university student is a group. Sometimes the dependent variable need to broken into two parts. around the group you are interested in so that the researcher question flow again the group are in a green and the dependent variable in blue. So please try to understand the example below. How many calories do American men and women consume per day? Here we have calorie and consume per day. We have broken uh, the variable. Of course, you should choose the restructure of the question above that you do not have to split the dependent variable into two parts. For example, you can write the question like this. How many calories are consumed per day by American men and women? So I recommend you try to write the question like this. How many calories are consumed per day by American men and women? Such kind of research question can be write easily and your reader could understand them easily. Include any word that provide greater context to your research question. So, what percentage of American men and women exceed their daily caloric allowance? So here we add the word exceed. Similar, what are the most important factor that influence the career choice of a study university? So most important in this example, we have an add any word that provide greater context to our research questions. Write out the descriptive research question. Once you have these details, you must familiar with the starting phrase, name of the dependent variable, the name of the group you are interested in, and potential joining word. After this, you will be able to write the research question that you need, right? Or the description. Now I would like to share the few examples of the descriptive research question. How many calories do American men and women consume per day? How often do British university students use Facebook each week? What are the most important factors that influence the career choice of Stellian University student? What proportion of British male and female university students use the top five social network? What percentage of American men and women exceed their daily caloric allowance? If you have understand the detail about the starting phrases, variable, group, and the extended word, you can construct the descriptive question easily. So try to understand the part of the research question for designing the quantitative research question. Now I share the summary of descriptive research question. So, for example, question is how often do you buy mobile app for fitness purpose? Number of mobile apps bought. So, demographic, smartphone user, fitness enthusiastic, another, how much would you be willing to pay for men lifestyle magazine? In this question, the variable cost respond would be willing to pay for men life magazine and demographic information is men age between 18 to 40 years. Next question is how regularly do you go abroad for holiday? Variable number of time respondent go on holiday and the demographic information are families adult age 18 and over. I hope now you will be able to construct the research question for your thesis and your dissertation. Next type is structure of comparative research question. So there are 5 steps required to construct a comparative research question. First of all, choose your starting phrase, identify and name the dependent variable, identify the group you are interested in, identify the appropriate adjoining text, write out the comparative research question. Now, I will explain these 5 steps one by one. Choosing your starting phrases. Comparative research question typical start phrases. What is the different in? What are the different in? So the word different is very important for the starting phrase in the research question. Here I would like to share few examples. What is the difference in the daily caloric intake of American men and women? Other example is what is the difference in weekly photo upload on Facebook between British male and female university student? What are the difference in attitude toward music privacy when pirated music is freely distributed or purchased? So now you can identify the phrases in the introduction of these example type uh, of descriptive of comparative research question. Next part is identify the group you are interested in. All comparative research questions have at least 2 groups. We have identified the group in the green text. What's the difference in the daily caloric intake of American men and women? Here, American men and women is a group. What's the difference in weekly photo upload on Facebook between British male and female university student? Here, British male and female university students are group. What are the difference in the perception toward the internet banking security between adoption and pensioner? Here, adoption and pension is a group. What are the difference in attitude toward music privacy when we pirated music is freely distributed or purchased? So in this example, pirated music is freely distributed or purchased, say, are a group. Identify the appropriate adjoining text. So, what is the difference in the daily caloric intake of American men and women? Here, adjoining text word is off. What is the difference in the weekly photo upload on Facebook between British males and female university students? So here we have the use the word between and try please understand when we have two group we use the word between and we had when we have more than two then we use the word among. What is the difference in perception toward internet banking security between adoption and pensioner? What are the difference in attitude toward music privacy when pirated music is freely distributed or purchased? So in this example, when is the adjoining text word. Write out the comparative research question, the starting phrase, the name of the variable, name of group, and name of. So identify the appropriate text. Next, summary of comparative research question. In the summary, what is the difference in the daily caloric intake men and women in London? So the variable that we are going to use is daily caloric intake, demographic information, men based in London, women based in London. Next question is what are different in attitude toward online banking between millennial adult and older people? Here variable is attitude toward online banking and demographic is millennial adult born prior to 1982. So these are these few examples of the summary of comparative research question. Next is the next type of the research question are uh, relationship-based research question. So, in relationship research question, there are 6 steps required to construct a relationship-based research question. First, choose your starting phrase, identify the independent variable, identify the dependent variable, identify the group, identify appropriate adjoining text, write out the relationship-based research question, and now I will explain these 6 steps in details. First, choose your starting phrase. Relation-based research question typically start with one or two phrases. Name of the independent variable. F2, what is the relationship between? So, if F2, there are two or more. What are the relationship of? Starting phrase are highlighted in blue text in these example. Try to understand and the example of the research question, what is the relationship between gender and attitude toward music, privacy amongst adolescents? So here, what is the relationship between is the phrases. What's the relation between study time and exam score among us university student? Here is what the relationship is the highlighted phrase. What is the relationship of career prospects, salary and benefit and physical working condition on job satisfaction between manager and non-manager. So here in all these examples, what is the relation between what is the relation between what is the relation of all are the starting phrases that we most of the time we use in the relationship question. Next, name the independent variable. All relationship based research questions have at least one independent variable. The dependent variable is highlighted in purple text. So, independent variable has been highlighted in purple. Please try to understand these example. What is the relation between gender and attitude toward music privacy among adolescents? So here, gender is independent variable. What's the relation between study time and exam score among university student? Here, study time is independent variable. What is the relationship of career prospect, salary and benefit and physical working condition on job satisfaction between manager and non-manager? In this example, career prospect, salary, and benefit, physical working condition, all are independent variables. Now, name the dependent variable in this example. Our relationship-based research question also have at least one dependent variable. The dependent variable is highlighted in this example. What's the relationship between gender and attitude toward music privacy among adolescents? In this example, music privacy is the dependent variable. What's the relationship between study time and exam score amongst university students? In this example, exam score is the dependent variable. What is the relationship of career prospect, salary and benefit and physical working condition on job satisfaction between manager and non-manager? Here, job satisfaction is the dependent variable. Name of the group. All relationship research questions have at least one group that but can have a multiple group. It has one group or multiple. Identify group in the green text in this example. So, what is the relationship between gender and attitude toward music privacy among us adolescents? So here, adolescent is the group, but the relationship between study time and exam score amongst university student. Here, university student is the name of group. What's the relationship of career prospect, salary and benefit, and physical working condition on job satisfaction between manager and non-manager? Here, manager and non-manager are two groups. So now you know what are the group name of the group in research question. Next, identify appropriate adjacent text. Name of group, adjacent text. So one among us, two or more between group 1 and group 2. You can understand with these example what is the relation between gender and attitude toward music privacy among us adolescents. So among us is the adjoining text words. What's the relationship between student time and exam score among us? University student. Here is also the word adjoining words that join the text, and there is also so many other example in you can see the example of between manager and non-manager because these are two group, so we use the between in them. Write out the research question. So, if you are familiar with the starting phrase, name of the dependent variable, name of independent variable, name of the group you are interested in, and any potential adjoining word, you can write out the relationship based research question in full and it will they are very helpful. Now I would like to share a few example of relationship question and please try to identify the phrases, group, words, independent and dependent variable. So this is your assignment. First example is what is the relationship between gender and attitude toward music privacy among adolescents? Second, what is the relationship between study time and exam score among university student? What is the relationship of career prospect, salary and benefit and physical working condition on job satisfaction between manager and non-manager? I hope you will understand the part of this relationship question and you know you will be able to write the relationship question. Next, the summary of the relationship question. What is the relationship between gender and A-level exam result among six form students? So, dependent variable, gender, independent variable, A-level exam result, demographic, six form student. What is the relationship between income? So, variable, disposable income, independent variable, location, and demographic, adult. So I hope now you have understand how to construct the relationship question. Next is causality. Is there in causality is there any effect of one variable on other variable? Or does one level of independent variable differ from the other? Most of the causality question we start with what is the effect of how do what the different is a better blah blah. So now I would like to share few example of this question. What is the effect of syrup consumption 50 ml, 100 ml, 200 ml on disease reduction? So this is a experiment type of research question in which we give the syrup of different quantity like 50 ml, 100 ml, and 200 ml. Next example, how do girls who read beauty magazine differ from girls who do not read beauty magazine in self-esteem course? So here in this example, we will find the different type of magazine. We will conduct the experimental search. Is repetition better than mnemonic from recalling information in older adult? For example, what is the effect of classroom environment, face-to-face, online, or hybrid static test score? What is the effect of diet, placebo, plant-based food, guide, and pyramid on weight loss and overload? So these are the example of this. Thank you very much for thoroughly understand this lecture. I hope you will try to understand and you will be able to construct the quantitative research question like the descriptive research question, comparative research question, relationship question with in detail example of these, and you will construct your own question when you will write your own thesis and dissertation. And I hope this lecture will be very helpful for you to understand and constructing the research question. Thank you very much.